Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel for another speed build. So today I am making a house for my Legacy family. I will link the last update I did with this family in the description. If I remember, if I don't remember, I'm sorry. But yeah, I think I called it like my Legacy update 8 generations or whatever, but yeah, she's my 8th generation sim, and her name is Lacey, and she is moving into this house. She actually officially moved in when I was playing yesterday. So Lacey is a pretty interesting character. So she's my first bi sim ever, I think. I'm pretty sure, anyway. I can't think of anybody else. But she is my heir to the challenge. She's the one that's gonna run the household now, and I love her so much. I think I love her so much because we've been through a lot together, which sounds so weird, but like we've been through some stuff together, and like I have cried with her, you know. So I'll explain that really quick. So Lacey, when she was a teenager, she was kind of like, she went through a lot as a teenager because she was kind of trying to understand her sexuality and stuff, and just her whole, like, she's from a triplet. She was a triplet. I don't know how to explain that any better, but she always felt like she was a little bit different. She always wanted to dress differently than her brother and sister. Her brother's name is Odin, and he always had things figured out. Like, he very quickly got into a relationship with this girl she was already pregnant with another guy's baby, but they ended up, falling in love, and now they're raising 2 children that aren't his, and now she's pregnant with a baby that is his, and they're engaged now and stuff. So Odin has his life really figured out, and he figured it out very quickly. And Estelle she went on one date with this guy named Lloyd, and she fell in love with him, and they have been together ever since, and they're about to have a baby now. Well, she's not pregnant yet, but she wants to get pregnant soon. But she doesn't think she'll ever get married to him, and that sort of a thing. But anyway, so, but Lacey never had that. She had a lot more to figure out about herself, and she kind of struggled with trying to understand herself. And then she met Fawn, who was the love of her life, and she was just this amazing person that was so right for Lacey in every way, and Lacey loved her so much, and they very quickly were like, they were dreaming of starting a life together, and they were dreaming about the day when they could start adopting kids together and starting their lives, and they had this beautiful plan of, me and you will get married, and we'll start adopting kids, and we'll adopt a whole bunch of kids, because that's all that Lacey has ever wanted, is to be a mom. And Fawn was an orphan at the time that Lacey and her met and fell in love, and so Lacey ended up having Fawn move in with her, and that was because Fawn was an orphan. Her parents were not in the picture for her, and that was really hard for Lacey to understand, because she grew up in with these really good parents, and obviously her parents were not perfect. Watch the update video to find out about all of that. Her parents were not perfect, but they were definitely better than Fawn's. And so Lacey asked her mom if Fawn could move in with her into the house, and so they registered her as a roommate, and she ended up moving in, and just didn't pay rent or anything to stay. So they were living together at the time, and then Fawn ended up getting really sick, and she passed away from the fatal illness from the Life Tragedy mod. She ended up passing away, and it was really, really hard for Lacey, and I cried about it. Like, I was so sad, like, because Fawn was such, like, a sweet, gentle soul, and she was so perfect, and it was so, like, it was so sad, especially because I had to do it, but I knew it was going to draw the storyline across and, like, be perfect. So I don't know, it's really hard. I'm sorry, guys, I have heartburn and I'm, like, dying a little bit, but it's okay. So anyway, so Fawn passes away, and Lacey is just kind of withdrawn and quiet and really sad for a long time, and for obvious reasons, like, she has a right to be sad when this is going on. So yeah, it was just really hard for Lacey to accept what was going on, and it took her a long time, but eventually, she found ways to cope, and her way of coping was she began performing violin, and it was something that she developed this really great passion for, playing violin, and it was something she picked up right after Fawn's death, and that became her coping mechanism for a long time. And for a long time she didn't date anybody or anything, and because she was still grieving, she was still in grief and dealing with all of that. So that was the case for a long time, and eventually, Lacey became a young adult, and now she's living on her own, and she has a boyfriend who they've been dating for a little while now, and they are going to adopt children, and they are probably going to adopt 5 kids, because Lacey believes that she is infertile, and she also just wants to have kids so bad, and she knows that it would mean so much to Fawn to know that Lacey is devoting her life to something that is so central on Fawn. And of course, Fawn, she loves her husband-to-be. She doesn't know they're going to get married yet, because they aren't married, they're just dating, but they're going to get married eventually, so. But that's kind of like where the storyline is just going, is like, Fawn is going to still be a big part of Lacey's life, but from the grave, and I just love that. So yeah, that's the storyline that I have going, and oh my gosh, it's so emotional for me. I don't know what it is, but yeah, so that's about all I have. This house is 6 bedrooms and I think 5.5 bathrooms, so yeah. And currently Lacey, there's one bed, none of the bedrooms upstairs are decorated, but I decorated one of the bedrooms, but that room is decorated for Lacey's parents. Their names are Persephone and Cyrus, and they are living upstairs because until they pass away, they're going to live there in Lacey's house. So because of the rules of Legacy Challenge, Persephone can't move out. She has to live on this lot for her whole life. Although I did break that rule by having Persephone go to university. So, I mean, I don't fully follow the rules, but ow, I just hit my toe. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have about this house. But I just thought it was such a sweet storyline, and I'm so happy with how it's turning out so far. I can't wait to start having her actually adopt children and start getting to do what I know is her dream in life, which is to just be a mom. So I'm really excited. Oh my gosh, why do I get so like obsessed with my Sims. Like, I need to get a life or something. But yeah, so I'm going to move on from this topic because I don't really have anything else to say, and I do have some stuff to say about just my real life. So, I thought I'd talk a little bit about school. So I am in week 5 of my 8-week course, so I'm getting close to the end. I have a couple weeks till finals, and I'm excited for this semester to be done because it's honestly been a really tough semester for me just because there's so much to do every day, and it's a little bit overwhelming at times, but I'm making my way through and I'm gonna be fine. So as for what I've been up to, I've been writing papers this week. I have to write 2 papers in a week because I didn't think about how close I was getting to it being time to I didn't realize how close it was getting to being time for the papers to be due. So I didn't realize I needed to get started on them. But I'm started on them now. I'm pretty much all the way through my 1 paper for my music history class. I would say about 80% done. And I'm going to finish the last little bit in the morning because I just need a break. I just keep getting distracted, and it's so hard to stay focused on the topic because it's kind of boring a little bit. It's kind of a fun class, but at the same time it's kind of just boring and what's going on here. So I am trying to just get through it. And then for my American history course, I'm writing a paper on how why was women's suffrage so controversial at the time, and what was making it so why did people not agree with it basically at the time, and kind of talking about that. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah. I had something else I was gonna say. I don't remember. What was I trying to say? Oh, okay. So in my music history course, basically the teacher, she keeps moving the due dates around on stuff. So at first it was just quizzes, and you can only do the quiz the day that it's due, which for one is stupid to me because this is an online course. I should be able to do stuff whenever the week that it's due, That's pretty standard, is if it's during that week that it's going to be due during this week, you can do it, is usually how it goes. But she had different plans for me, so yeah, but that's fine. I can adapt to that, but she keeps changing them. She keeps changing the due dates, and then if I spend the day working on American history instead of working on music history, she will change the due date to that day, and then I will miss the quiz. And she did that to me. So basically, for this paper, it says that the outline is due on the 22nd of this month. But then when I go into another part of, when I go into my book, there's a different, because I have an online book, and basically in the online book, it says that it's due on the 15th. So it's making it seem like I missed the due date for my outline to be due. But I don't think that I did. And if she tries to say that I missed it, I'm just going to say, hey, there's a different due date written somewhere else. So, yeah. What? No, I can't pause. There's only 5 minutes. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, guys. That's okay. So, yeah, I just am a little bit upset because it's why do you keep moving the due dates for stuff? It doesn't make any sense to me, and it's just very frustrating because it's one day it's due this day, and then the next day it's due a different day, and it's I should be able to have some structure. I am a student and I'm more organized than you as the teacher. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's very frustrating to me. So, yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. It's like, why are you doing it like this? Like, every day I look in there and, like, something has been changed. And, like, okay, the quiz is, like, if you do the quiz, you get 100%. Because, like, the quiz basically, you go through and you can just click through until you get the right answer, and it'll give you 100%. So, like, the only way that I'm missing points is when I miss the assignment. It's not even my fault that I didn't do the assignment, because she just moved the due dates. So I can't even, I don't even have time to do it, you know? So that's what's been going on. Oh, I knocked my earbuds out of my ears. No. Okay. So I've just been very frustrated with that. And I am not a fan. Yeah. But, I mean, I only have a few weeks left, and then I'll be done, and then I can transfer to my 4-year college, and I'm so excited about that. Like, having a fresh start, like, I'm somebody who enjoys a fresh start, and that's why I'm worried about myself in the future. It's like, I just like a fresh start. Like when I switched jobs, like, I was like, I am ready for a fresh start. Like, it felt good to have a little bit of a fresh start. That being said, I've been at the same job for 2 years now. So, like, some things I like to be just very steady, and then other things I'm just very, like, I need to, like, it feels good to start over and start somewhere new. It is very uncertain right now. I don't know what's going to happen in the world, because the world is very crazy right now. And I've just been trying to come to terms with the fact that what I'm experiencing right now is going to be in the history books someday. My heartburn is so bad. I'm sorry, guys. I'm, like, dying a little bit. Oh. Anyway. But, like, coming to the terms with the fact that everything that I'm experiencing right now is going to have to go in a history book, of, like, just there's been so much that has happened, and I've started in my planner writing down all the big, like, news headlines that I see in a day, or, like, over the course of the week. I have, like, a little section at the top of my planner, and I just write down, like, Trump says this, or Kanye says this about Harriet Tubman, and, like, writing down all these things so that I remember, like, how life was and what all I was having to keep track of in a day, because there is so much that I have to keep track of now. And, like, just trying to stay educated is such a struggle, because there's so much going on that I have to keep focused on. What has been really nice is that both my American history course and my music history course, this is my favorite part about it, is, like, I've been trying to educate myself more on, like, Black history and, like, all of that. And I'm looking at my history book, and I'm reading it all, and I'm looking at American history, and I'm like, so much of this is Black history, like, especially in my music history course. Like, there's so much Black history that is music history, because Black people changed music so much. Like, they were such a big part of the way that music changed, and I think that's so cool. It's like, even now, like, if you look, rap is so popular, and that's kind of is a more Black genre, although it doesn't, anybody can be a part of it. It's just tends to be more that way. And it's just really cool to see, like, how they're still, like, shaping history and, like, making names for themselves despite, like, everything that white people have put them through. And it's really, like, cool to see, I think. And just learning about, like, oh, this beat was developed from this culture, and, like, we are, like, anybody who likes this music is liking music that came from Black people. Like, I don't see how people can listen to rap but, like, be racist. Like, I don't get it, and I try my best, like, not to be. I know that there are some parts of me that it's still ingrained in me, but I've been working on it, and I've been trying to educate myself and understand everything. And that was one thing I was really worried about with my history course, particularly American history, is like, I was really worried that it was going to try to teach me a lot of the things that I learned in high school, which ended up being wrong. But it ended up working out perfectly because the class was about what actually happened, and it talks a lot about the real things. But anyway, we are coming up on the end of this video. I went on a whole long tangent there. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up my video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye!